gonna be another second here, and hopefully.
It's alright, I'll just play with my watch.
Okay.
Eagle-eyed viewers notice I don't have a watch. Also, people with psychic powers, which will be today's topic. Psychic powers. Can I just go through this boring story?
Whoa.
I'm sorry, did I press a button?
No. I just had to fix that. Hopefully the volume is okay.
Just focus the main window then. Focus.
Yep. Everything should be good. Okay.
This is off.
What are you doing?
Just trying to.
You trying to play?
Oh, I was just trying to get to that boring story mission.
Okay, you can. Yeah, keep going.
I was just gonna press A a bunch, but it doesn't seem to be working. Oh, B is what works.
I think it's O. Or I guess B on the controller.
Oh!
Yeah. O.
Hey, that's kind of funny. On Xbox it's B, and on PlayStation it's O. So together it's B-O. Because it's a smelly button that nobody uses.
B-O.
I didn't get very far.
B-O-G-O.
I kept hitting the wrong button even after once I realized what it was.
Well, now I just need to check this. Here.
Alright, I'll try to like get up in on what the plot's all about. Even though I can't read the text from this far.
Well, I just want to make sure that everything is
Giza.
working good.
Crystal. I'm just reading the words I can read. And talking a bunch so you can test the audio.
Yeah, audio is good.
Radio. I know we should change the podcast too. We'll call it the Terrible Robcast.
Terrible Rob.
Just Rob Unfiltered. Ouch. Kind of like what we're doing right now.
Just talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah. Isn't anything interesting. Man, we can talk a little bit about pumpkin spice blizzard cakes.
Pumpkin spice everything.
It's delicious. Wasn't what I was expecting at all, though. We should have ate on stream. Camera and everything.
Okay, yeah, it looks like... Yeah, see, look.
Adding?
Okay. I apologize for anyone if anyone is actually watching right now. But I want to just test out the add feature thing here. So I'm just going to play an ad. See if it works.
Beast mode. It says playing ad at the top. Nice. I assume it's not going to play over our broadcast.
This one, though.
Wait 30 seconds, or what's our stream delay?
Yeah, like 30 seconds or so.
Do you have ad block on?
I don't have it on here.
Oh, that's right.
Is it just going? I think
It's just an audio
I
ad.
think there's nothing.
It stopped playing.
Yeah, no, like it's still just going. It's not playing an ad. It's nonsense.
Guess we'll have to add that feature later. Haha. Really don't know what to say. How do we ignore it? We'll try again later.
Yeah,
Screen.
see what happens.
So I told you I watched the movie Looper earlier, or well, most of it.
Loop air?
The ending's not as important.
I wish I knew what this fucking guy was doing here.
He's got to be friendly.
Yeah, but like, why? Why is he there? Why is he doing anything?
Why doesn't he protect you? He just protects your teammate.
What's his purpose in life?
Give you a shield before you go in here.
Shelled?
Shield.
Okay, so
So-
I go to those areas, I guess.
I get thinking about time travel in movies and how I pretty much hate it in every movie I've seen. Looper.
Including Looper?
Looper, yes, as well. Just because they always seem to follow the same. And I would like... I'm bringing this up because I wanted to know your opinion on it, because I haven't seen maybe a whole lot of movies recently involving time travel, but they all seem to fall into that same idea of... that I don't like, where there's like a multi-dimensional theory. Like, you go into time and you're basically creating like branching timelines and stuff like that. If you know what I mean. Am I
Isn't
getting
that
too
exactly like what
all movies are?
999 and Richard's Last Reward is doing?
Yeah.
You don't like
I just
that?
don't like that version of time travel. I just don't subscribe to it. But like I say, although in 999, it's different because they don't do the one thing that bothers me about that aspect of time travel. Whereas once you get to the end, how did they do it in 99? They go back, or Virtue's Last Reward. They go
In Virtue's Last Reward, it's like
you get to the end of your timeline and he gets sucked back
he
to
keeps
the beginning point.
Well, he's kind of in a loop at this point.
Yeah.
Like whenever he fails, it's like a failed version of that universe, so they like keep trying to go back to get it to that actual one where it branches off. And
yeah, but at the end though, I guess it kind of does get into what the thing I was going to talk about. But anyway, say in Looper, Back to the Future, things like that. There's like a scene where, if you know the plot of Looper at all, it's young Bruce Willis, played by Gordon Joseph Levitt, frigate, whatever. I'm just saying for people, is getting visited by himself from the future. Who's Bruce Willis? So this Bruce Willis has a wife and blah blah blah, loves his life, but it's just time to die 30 years from when he started his loop or whatever. And then he gets sent back in time to get killed, and then doesn't. And then his memories start getting overwritten by like the changing timeline, blah 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 blah. And I just don't subscribe to that whole. Either one of two things is going to happen: A, his future self is going to only have memories of his current timeline, the one that he lived in, and then for some reason, say you go back in time and he winds up and meets that Gordon Levitt. He had a different whole experience his whole life. They even showed his life and what he did. He killed himself from the future, young Bruce Willis, and then he lived his life until he was 30, and then he got sent back. But this time he didn't get killed by his younger self. He survived and like made it out. And his whole goal was to try to like survive and get his wife, like get back to his wife. And he figures if he can stop this giant like world-ending event that like causes so much problems, then time travel won't be invented. So he'll suddenly just disappear and reappear back with his wife. Although to me, all of that timeline would no longer exist if you subscribe to that theory, because it never went that way. And I guess I'm just not a big multidimensional type person. I think things just kind of go forward until they.
But that's the thing though, with Looper, it's not doing that though. Like it kind of is, but it isn't, because it's like if we're taking the multidimensional thing, it's like everything is different and it branches off. Mm-hmm. With Looper, it changes as they go.
Right.
It's not a branching off.
Exactly. It's changing as it goes. So that's why I say, like, it's like they're doing the multi-dimension thing, but then they're still adding in the elements from like the straight.
See, I find that the more likely of it, because it's like once something starts to change, then everything else starts to be affected by it. Because if you say like with his,
but it's not happening now to his body now.
No, but that's what I mean.
It's like
past. It's kind of almost real time.
Right.
Because like if you take it, like I was trying to explain this as well to somebody else. It was like they were, I don't know. When I am thinking of it, it's like there's the timeline, and then let's say we got young Bruce Willis and then we got old Bruce Willis. Old Bruce Willis comes out of his timeline, goes back and here, and then now they're running parallel.
Right.
So when something happens to young Bruce Willis, it's going to happen to the old one because they're running parallel.
But my thought is that it already happened to that Bruce Willis. So when he came back in time, that stuff would have already happened to him.
But that's
why, like, if you cut off Gordon Jason Levitt's arm,
but that's what
why does Bruce Willis's arm just suddenly disappear? Because he would have had to have lived his whole life without an arm to get to that point.
Yeah, but it's like he is in that parallel timeline. So until it actually fully happens, it doesn't actually happen.
And if that, well, say that, then subscribing to that side, so say it is a parallel timeline, then why did anything that you do to Gordon Levitt happen to Bruce Willis? Because he's just a guy out of time now, who's running parallel from a different timeline. So what's to say now that this is a completely different branching timeline that Gordon Jason Levitt is on, that's going to lead to a different Bruce Willis who doesn't come back in time? So why would all these things that happen to him happen to the one that eventually comes back in time? Unless all those things were going to happen to him the whole time.
Well, yeah, it would still eventually possibly lead to that until it doesn't. Like what Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was trying to do the whole time was to close the loop get back to his job. If he ended up actually doing it, he would have gone back to his job, lived his life, and then like eventually got sent back in time.
Right.
That was the whole thing. Is like it would still lead to that eventual end if old Bruce Willis
not necessarily
died.
because Bruce Willis had a goal when he came back, which was to kill this younger boy who was going to become like the
Yeah, but that's what I
Rain
mean.
Man
Like
who
eventually,
was
then he would disappear because he wouldn't have gone back in time. But he would. But he was still there because again, it was running parallel. He was still there until old Bruce Willis died. If old Bruce Willis died, then everything would have been fine because it was still running parallel.
Right.
If the old guy died, well, the young guy dies there at the end, and that's what I mean. Like as soon as the young guy dies, the old guy dies.
I didn't watch the last 15 minutes. Sorry.
Oh no! Well, fuck.
No, I've seen it before. I just can't remember exactly what happened. So the young guy does die, and then Bruce Willis dies.
Yeah, at the same time, because again, like at that point, they're running parallel.
But then how would? Yeah, I guess because it's a different timeline. See, this is why I don't like the idea of multiple timelines. Maybe it's just me not liking the idea.
It's not a different timeline though. It's still the same timeline.
But then why didn't Bruce Willis have those things already have happened to him?
Again, he's in this time now. He's running parallel. So until it actually fully happens, it's still up in the air. It's as if everything is normal.
But it's not up in the air because it's in Bruce Willis's past.
But it is.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what my version of time travel is that you can't have something happen all of a sudden to someone from the future just because time isn't. I don't think that time is uncertain. I guess I feel like there's a set path that's going to go on. Small things can make huge changes, but I don't think those changes. I don't think you can mess with time. I think it causes a paradox that makes it so that you can't. Like, do you watch the movie Predestination?
Yeah. That fucked up movie.
Yeah, and I don't really fully I understand it. Like, there's a lot of people that seem to say, like, I just don't understand what's going on. But, man, it's obvious where that movie's going, I guess, as you're watching it, I feel. But the only part about that movie that doesn't subscribe to the theory that I can get behind is the whole, where does this guy come from in the first place? Because that, to me, is the problem. But you, from what you've told me, wouldn't have a problem with that because things can happen within time.
No, that one was the fucked up movie. That didn't make any sense.
But to me, that's the exact same issue
Like, it made
as Bruce Willis suddenly just getting like a scar on his wrist because like Gordon Levitt's trying to tell him to go somewhere, so he like scrawls it in his arm deep enough somehow to not kill him, but leave a scar for 30 years. But so he carves it in, and in real time it just happens on the guy, right?
But I don't know with that.
But he didn't live his whole life with that scar. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he did though. He did. He just didn't until it actually happened to young Bruce Willis. He did live with it. He just didn't until it happened to young Bruce Willis.
And I understand that. And I'm just saying though, why would Bruce Willis remember not having that scar on his arm even if it suddenly just did just appear? Why would he not remember it?
Because it, like, I don't know, it's just the brain, you can't handle it at the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. That stuff.
We already talked about memories. We're not talking about memories again.
But that was a big part of the movie too. Like, he's just constantly, he knows where Gordon Levitt is going to be because as soon as he does something, he remembers it as being now in his past.
I don't know.
And I guess that's my difference is that I feel like there's no way he could have done anything any differently. And so the whole premise of the movie is kind of outside my scope of time travel. But, I won't complain too much. Yeah. Back to the Future, same thing. Marty is just like disappearing on stage because his like parents aren't getting together. You know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised his parents got together in the first place. It seems like he had to have been there to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, again, like, they gave an alternate version of events. It's like they got together through one event. He changed things, and then he fixed it
to get it back together. Yeah,
to get them back together. I don't know. It's just like I feel that the idea of that running parallel makes more sense than anything because it's like once you go out of time, you're in this timeline now. So it's like as things are happening, as things are changing in this timeline.
Why would they affect you? You're outside of that timeline.
No, but it does start to affect you as they happen because they haven't happened yet.
Why not before, or why not later, or why not never?
Because again, like you're in that time period.
But you're not part of it.
Like, let's say
You're part of its future.
You are a part of it. You are a part of the. Yeah, you're a part of the future. So until.
But not now. You look back to it.
But that's what I mean. It's uncertain. Because let's say that you are going to get a scar in like 5 minutes. So future you from 10 minutes is here too.
And he's always had that scar.
But
because it was going to happen to me in the future.
But if he stops it from happening, his is going to disappear. And it's just the same reason, but it's only going to do it. It's only going to disappear for him once he stops it from happening to you. And it's the same in reverse. If something happens to you because of him changing it, it's not going to happen to him until it happens to you.
Right. I guess I understand that. Like I say, I still don't subscribe to that. I can't get behind that idea. I just think it's like kind of.
Oh man, my fucking neck hurts really bad.
Like it's like I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a good analogy to kind of explain like where I'm going with it. It's like a fruit that's rotting, right? So like eventually it'll be
2 doors she has. Did you hear what he said? 2 doors she has. That's a metaphor for something.
Yeah, really.
2 entrances, 1 exit.
What are they talking about? If you take the left door, say if you take the front door, the back door.
Take the front door.
There's lots of grass.
That is the way to go. The back door is a little dirty and smelly.
It's the dirt road to the forest.
Don't go touching your gills just yet.
His gills?
Gills is like the money.
Oh,
I was making another metaphor for his penis.
Well, I didn't get it. Just like your penis. Oh, that was terrible.
You don't get my penis?
Not at all. What is he petting?
It's like a rabbit, I think.
Looks creepy. I maybe it's the color of it. I just don't expect like flesh-colored rabbits. So is this guy like a prevalent character? Or is he just sort of like a local dude?
A recurring character. But again, I just feel like a lot of the people that are in this have nothing to do with the overall plot. I'm gonna have to play it again, like actually like playing it with the story in mind, because it's like.
Yeah, but I thought it was terrible. Like, what's the...
I don't know.
If you already know that in your mind, I'm sure it's not gonna like get better. Like just knowing that it's bad.
That's the thing, though. It's like I want to make sure that it's not just my own memory playing tricks on me and whatever, because like for instance, I had played Final Fantasy VII before. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And then I played it again, like years down the road, and throughout the time there, that like from when I played it the first time until that time again or whatever, I had forgotten about spoilers about how the main character Cloud was so fucked up in the head. Like, you played it?
Yep.
Yeah.
A long time ago, though. I don't really remember.
Well, like, the whole thing that happened was because of the whole Mako energy and stuff like that, Cloud was so fucked up in the head, he thought he was somebody else.
Right.
And
that's
when
he was a soldier and stuff like that? Yeah.
He kept saying, like, he came back to, like, Tifa, his childhood friend, and kept saying how he got into soldier and everything like that. And how he was, like, this really great warrior and whatever. But he wasn't, actually. And because of his fucked up memories and stuff that happened to him and stuff like that, it created memories in his mind of this other person.
Intense.
And I did not remember that at all. And so when I was playing it again, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, and it made me appreciate the story in it.
Yeah, it's something I guess you wouldn't remember. It's just sort of like a mild plot detail, but it's like sort of adds to the universe a whole lot. Or the narrative, anyway.
Yeah.
Man, how many times in the day can I use the word narrative?
Well, it adds to the character of Cloud, for sure. So, like, it changed my perception of it even a little bit. And I don't know, I want to make sure that I'm not doing that to this as well.
Fair enough.
So playing it again is for that reason as well.
I guess I'm trying to think of a game I played when I was like a lot younger and a bit more. I mean, nostalgia is a huge thing for me, and I recognize that a lot of the games that I played when I was quite young, like, before I was like 10, like, man, like every game was just like, man, that was like the most amazing game I've ever played. But that's when like gaming was at its onset. So like, yeah. But I recently, I know I've talked about this 100 times, but I recently replayed through like the Prince of Persia series, at least to the second one, before my emulator, or not emulator, my computer crapped out. And the first game in that is one of my favorite stories in gaming ever. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play this, and the story's just not gonna like blow me away as much. I just gotta like set myself up for it. But it did. Like, I was just like, man, oh yeah, okay, tell I remember why I love this story so much. Like, it's just such a good story. And like the characters, like it's an amazing love story. I love it. But
it's so touching.
But and the second one, I remember I'm like, you know what? I know the plot's like freaking terrible. It's kind of a weird, crappy game, but I just love playing it, I guess. And the part that I didn't remember about the second one that sort of threw me back was how freaking like buggy it is, like in terms of like glitchy, I guess is the word maybe I should use. And like that kind of surprised me, because then as I was playing it, I started to remember this stuff. Like, oh man, yeah, I remember like I could never make this jump just because like the camera always like drags to the left when you try to make it. And like when I was younger, I guess I wasn't as maybe I have my hand held a lot more in games or something like that. But like those kind of things I just sort of dealt with. I just don't remember. And those are the things I don't remember in older games, I guess. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like little elements of frustration and stuff like that. Like you don't think about the bad stuff, but you remember like when a story is good or bad or something like that. I mean, the fact alone, I guess is what I'm trying to say, that you remember that the story in this is bad, makes me feel like it must be. Like, because you had no good moments to like latch onto in it.
Well, I don't even recall when I played it. I don't think, I think I was older when I was playing it, because like it's...
Well, this would be a pretty recent one, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a very old game.
I'm an old guy.
But I mean, like, the gameplay is solid. Like,
it looks really cool. I like the...
I wonder when I'm gonna get... Or maybe I already have them. Like, the fun thing about this, at least I feel, some people didn't like it, was this gambit system.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is basically you can set up your characters to do things so you don't have to do it manually.
All your characters? Or just...
Yeah, all your characters.
Cool.
I guess they're not there yet. So you can get it to a point where, like, it's like, if the enemy is under this amount of health, then use this, that sort of thing.
Right.
So,
or like kill your guy if he's getting about to die, sort of thing.
Yeah, or revive a character if they need reviving. And a lot of people didn't like that because it was basically like playing itself. The game was.
Yeah. Other than you just moving from battle to battle, I guess.
And I mean, I didn't mind that because it made things easier. Plus, you could have just, like, I told somebody who was, like, complaining about it, like, okay, you could have just put it on your two side characters, the Gambits, made them go on their own, and then controlled the main character if you wanted.
What happens if you don't control your side characters? Do they do anything? Or you have to switch through them, normally?
Well, like, you can put the Gambits on, or you can control them manually.
Okay.
Or they won't do anything, I don't think. But that's what I told them, like, it's like, okay, if you didn't really like the Gambits, then just put them on the side characters and then use your main character. So, like, I don't know, I don't know why people really complained about it. I think they didn't like it, and so they wanted to try and find reasons why they didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, another thing that's kind of making me think of a similar situation where you play Fallout, the new ones, the Fallout 3 and New Vegas. They introduced this system. I never played the old ones, sadly, like 1 and 2, but the Fallout 3 and New Vegas, which were for, I don't know, the last console generation, I think.
Why do I fucking use this?
They had, like, I think the first two games in the series were, like, RPGs, like top-down or isometric RPGs, and then Fallout 3 was like a shooter, but it introduced or like, sort of like a Skyrim style, like open world thing that. Who did? You don't even know who did Fallout. I want to say it was Bethesda or something.
Well, yeah, it was the same people as Skyrim.
Yeah, so it was Bethesda, and they introduced they called it VATS system or whatever, which is like the freeze the action on the screen and let you like individually target people, and like it sort of like freezes the game and blah blah blah. And I remember reading that there was like quite a bit of flack for that kind of thing. And I was like, geez, this game is. I know it's like a Bethesda who I don't think they had done Skyrim at that point, but they'd done a game like it. Anyway, they're like, you're in this like shootery world and blah blah blah, like having this system that lets you like individually target, and then it's based on like a % chance to hit and yada 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 yada. And I was thinking like, man, it's just something you can do. It's not something you have to. You can just sit there and try to get headshots on everybody if you want, like in real time. Like go ahead. In fact, it's not even that detrimental to do that. You're going to waste bullets, and it's sort of balanced in the way that you're going to waste bullets and be less accurate, and sort of it runs on an RPG engine when you're shooting by letting the computer do it for you or whatever. But I don't know. I found I used both, and I enjoyed doing both. And
well, I mean, if I understand the system correctly, I've watched a little gameplay of it. Doesn't it run out? Like you can't always do it.
Right. Like it was such an interesting blend between RPG and shooter in that way, like traditional turn-based sort of thing. Because I believe like enemies will have like a bar and they can attack when it's full, like in Final Fantasy XII. And I'm thinking Final Fantasy VII, I guess. And so do you, like in terms of your ability to like get a new clip, I think. So, you could switch into like the VATS and then like be like, okay, I have a 90% chance to hit their head, I might as well do that. Probably gonna kill them, but if you miss, you just gotta reload and like do your next turn. But in first person, man, I'm forgetting this completely and like not doing it justice. But it felt really balanced to me, I guess. And the complaint seemed to be that having both systems in play was not like kind of ruined both of them. But I guess it comes back to the same idea of like, if you don't like one system, use the other.
Yeah.
But I can see how having them both in there sort of, they expected you to use both, I guess, or at least focus on the VATS. So one of those games. I got to replay that again. I hear they're amazing, and I played them both, but or Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but I just don't remember being, I guess, floored enough to want to revisit them. Which is kind of sad because I hear they're quite grand in scope. And I love the environment. I love that dystopian sort of like wasteland that you can walk around. It gives you a lot of like interesting visuals and stuff like that.
But yeah, it certainly looks... Wait, I can do gambits?
Gambits on. You can turn gambits off. Or is that just per player or individual teammate?
Well, I don't even understand because there should be like a gambit.
Maybe you haven't unlocked the ability to do it yet, but they don't remove it from the menu.
Yeah, maybe.
Whenever you say gambit, I think of the X-Men.
Yeah. Oh, but no, he's moving now. Maybe it's just movement right now.
He's attacking though, or are you doing that?
I had to start it. We'll see it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's not attacking, so, but he'll move around if the other guy moves.
Seems like he was. Or is that a deflect?
Just blocking.
Like that? Was that?
Well, yeah, that I initiated that.
Oh, okay.
Like it auto attacks after. Yeah, I don't know. I remember games like that before. Like just they get a lot of critical acclaim, but not really inspiring me there.
Yeah,
like I played Skyrim, and I played quite a few hours of it, and then I just stopped.
Maybe that's just my style game. I mean, I played so much of Skyrim, like it's might be my most played game under Smash Brothers Melee. Yeah, I'm not sure. Just because it's so moddable. But that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't play vanilla Skyrim that much, probably. Mods add a lot to me in a lot of games like that.
What mods do you have on it?
I have like over 80 right now installed, and I've gone through a lot more than that. Just, you know, like weapons and like new perk trees and stuff like that, just to kind of keep the game fresh.
Oh, so you don't have Thomas the Tank Engine as the...
No, see, I don't like to get too crazy. I like to still play. Like I love the Skyrim world and everything like that, but I added a few like some amazing people online have come up with like some awesome like sort of like extended missions and content and stuff like that. I've added some things like that, and mostly it's like aesthetic stuff, like new armors and weapons, and I think I've one that lets my horse run like the same speed that it does in Oblivion, but like in Skyrim, like the horses are supposed to... It's a little bit faster, like I think it's like 30% faster or something like that. And I mean, you can call me an idiot for doing stuff like this, but honestly I've played so much of vanilla Skyrim that like I know what the game's supposed to be played like. I know the horses aren't supposed to be fast as the Oblivion horses because they're hardier Nordic horses that are like slower and hardier and yada 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 yada. But I don't care. I just want to get to my place faster. I don't like to fast travel. I like to drive my horse. Well, that mod makes some interesting like changes because other horses go fast too. I have a series of mods that I shouldn't say I have, but I procured.
I made a series of mods.
It's called Amazing Race Tweaks, I think. Shout out for that collab. But they do different changes to every different race and sort of like make them a bit more unique than vanilla. So like orcs are better blacksmiths, like in general. So like when they're smithing, like they kind of get more to it and can smith things better, and they're better at like mining and things like that. And their berserk ability that they have in the vanilla is like I don't know if it extended or like it has more of like a cooldown on it, but it's like it makes you stronger but take more damage, I guess, as an alternate. Anyway, just stuff like that, because you just can like jump a lot higher because they're cats and their unarmed damage is more. They have claws. Nargonians don't have unarmed damage bonus, even though they have claws too. Never really thought of that. Really don't know. I like being a Khajiit though, because they're like assholes. Especially Jakaro.
I played, I can't remember who I played as. I think it was like the thief guys.
Oh yeah?
But like, I made this big burly guy. So I just thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, hell yeah.
Funny juxtaposition.
It is. Actually, the run I'm doing right now, although I'm kind of getting close to maybe putting it down again for a little bit, but...
Oh wow, what's this cinematic camera here?
Cinematic.
I forgot that...
You can speed up?
Yeah.
The guy I'm playing right now is like an archer, and so like all I'm about doing is like stealth kills and stuff like that. And so I'm super stealthy. I steal and pickpocket from everything, but I wear a full set of like heavy armor and like this giant orc dude. So like I think it's probably very similar to what you had going on there. But it's such a funny, weird thing to do because there's a one perk in the heavy armor tree that is it adds the bonus from your heavy gauntlets or your armor bonus to your unarmed attack. It's the only way to level up your unarmed in the game. So it's like, yeah, I'll just be like super stealthy, but then I'll like get heavy armor bonus so I can wear heavy gauntlets and like if I ever can't use my bow, I'll be able to like just punch people out. But I'm so hilariously overpowered because I'm like this awesome orc smither who like I just keep like smithing my gloves up so like they do so much extra damage when I'm wearing them, and I'm so quiet that I can literally like walk around uncrouched with full heavy plate armor on, and like people don't even see me standing in front of them, sort of thing, and I just like shoot them in the face. So I don't know. That's the reason
just
I play Skyrim stuff.
That'd be hilarious.
But and then I do that. I like switch to my punching.
You're just like, who's there?
The best part is I'm so strong with my unarmed. I can kill most people in like one, maybe two hits, unless like they're like a heavy guy, right? But I have, the vanilla game has like kill camera like effects, like so you do like a cool cinematic kill and it slows down and blurs it all out. But I took off the blur effects and stuff because I can't stand it. But because like you can't really tell what's going on and it like gets all shaky cam sort of thing. But man, I put the cinematic effects on, and before I had done this run, I'd never really killed people using unarmed. But there's freaking cinematic effects for that. So, but they're hilarious. Like like I say, you're just like punch, 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 and then suddenly it like activates like your cinematic one, and he just like grabs them by the neck and just like cracks their head like against his head like a couple hundred times, and then just drops them to the floor kind of thing. And there's one where he just like grabs them by the belt, picks them up over his head, and then like inverts them and like does like a head slam like right to the ground. I'm like, these are so like outside of what I would expect in Skyrim, where most of them are just, you know, swinging their sword really heavy and like embedding into them and pulling it out sort of thing. Like the unarmed ones are hilarious. Like the one who just grabs him by the back of the hair and he just like punches him in the face like 4 or 5 times, like into the ground, like as he's going down. It's insane. I'm just like, man, who choreographed this stuff? Because I don't think a lot of people would even know those are in the game, you know? Unless play as a Khajiit with heavy armor.
I don't understand how these are the same attack power.
Broadsword and a dagger. Maybe it's just for him. Like maybe other people are better at daggers.
I don't think so.
Or he's better at daggers.
The interesting thing about this one, and I don't know, I found it kind of funny. I think I might have mentioned it to you before, but this is called the International Edition, and it was not in English. Like it had English
Subtitles?
voice acting.
Oh, okay.
In this version, and Japanese subtitles.
Oh.
But it's like, it's called International Edition. Why is it called International Edition if it's just like that? Like, they don't even have any options.
Yeah, I did do a little bit of fuckery to get it to... Don't you have to have English version as well, just to get it to play?
Yeah, I had to have both copies and then
That's nuts.
patched it. If anybody's watching and is offended by me using an emulator, screw you. But
I have a hard time playing this on the console and then streaming it.
I do have it on console, though.
That's all they need to know.
If I had the means to play it on the console and be able to stream it, I would do that.
I'd still do this because I'd probably end up breaking my copy of whatever game. Frigging around with it. Oh yeah. You could scratch it. Anything could happen.
Do you, like, are all your games just, like, sitting in their plastic wrap? Is that...
No, but I definitely emulate a lot of games I own. If I can. Just easier. It's like, I love when Xbox allowed you to install games to the hard drive. Except I wish that they let you take the disc out. Because that's exactly what I wanted to do. You install your games to your library and then you're good to go. You only have to put in the disc like once a year to install a game. Or whatever.
Looks like the new Nintendo console might be going full digital.
Really? What are they going to call it, the Wii Me?
Who knows? Yeah, there's like a recent patent filing or whatever, and it looked like potentially that's what was going to be happening.
Interesting.
Because there was no optical drive. But it could also be...
external optical drives. Buy them separately. Or pre-installed games that you just like plug in.
Well, SD card.
Yeah.
What they could be...
Or a cartridge.
Yeah.
Old school.
What they could be doing is... they could also be...
The floor's opening up underneath you.
Yeah. Emulators.
Yeah.
There might be the game. It could be... fuck, what was I saying?
I think it's the emulator.
It could be Wii U, though. Like a new version of the Wii U.
Oh, like the Wii U Lite or something.
Yeah.
Or a Wii Me and You. I keep playing on that, so I find like a really good hard-hitting jab.
You'll have to keep working on it, I think.
Yeah. Wii Wii?
Wii Wii!
The French Wii?
I'm sure
kind of racist.
I'm sure that joke has been made before.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard it. Actually, I probably have.
France is a nationality, not a race.
Okay, what is it when you're like... What's bigotry?
Well, I think that covers everything.
Oh. Okay.
Like, there's the racism and sexism and stuff like that, but then, like, being a bigot is just the overarching.
Well, then what is it specifically when you're against another, like, country? Or people who are, like, of a different ethnicity?
Nationalism, maybe?
Yeah.
Look it up.
That's a good thing. Nationalism, I like that.
Nationalism. Oh, God.
Define nationalism. Google. I should have just said that actually.
Google.
Instead of saying it while I'm typing it, I should have just said it and let my phone do it for me.
Just tell Google what to do. Old man Google.
Nah, nationalism is just like being a patriot. Oh no, xenophobia is a synonym, so.
So xenophobia, being xenophobic.
Xenophobia is a synonym for extreme nationalism. So I guess you could be like a nationalist in the sense that you just really like your country. But extreme forms of this, especially marked by feelings of superiority over other countries.
And
But you could just be an advocate of political independence in your country and still be a nationalist.
Well, I mean, extreme, the extreme side of things, you know, you'd be...
Yeah, but you can't be like a mild bigot. Or like mildly sexist. I guess you can.
Yeah. It's like...
Any sexism is sexism, though. Like, I guess you can be like degrees of it.
Yeah, like you can't paint everyone with the same brush. I mean, like, it's like the...
I do.
Somebody made... What is it called there? Fucking...
This is like the least inspiring like opening level. Just like sewers? Come on, man.
Benevolent sexism, basically. Like, sexism in the form of, like, you don't necessarily think that one is superior, but that the other is inferior. Like, that women are weak and can't protect themselves.
Right.
So you want to protect them. Like,
Oh,
okay. It's kind of...
It's still a feeling of superiority, but it's sort of masked by, like, you don't really think... You just think that genetic...
Well, you don't... Like, you don't think that necessarily that, you know, you're the superior sex, but you feel that women need to be protected.
Right.
And, you know, it's kind of a noble thing to want to protect, but it's like, also, does the woman want to be protected?
Yeah, and would you accept protection from a woman? Sort of like logic.
Yeah, like, I mean, if...
Like, it's not really noble if you would, like, not do the same in an opposite situation where they felt like they could protect you from a similar situation. Like, no, I won't accept help from a woman.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that would be the case in most of the situations. Like, I feel like you can't feel superior to someone else without letting that bleed over into other aspects. You know what I mean? Like you'd never want to feel inferior to that person. So.
Well, it's just, I don't know. The whole thing is
Sure.
weird and interesting, and it's also frustrating because it's like, it's almost to a point where you can't really, it's tough to even say anything.
Let's talk about male sexism. I'm just kidding. Let's not go there. Or sexism against males. That's what I'm trying to say.
I want to keep viewers. I don't want.
I don't know. This might be how we have to get them.
Well, like, what was I gonna say?
I don't know what I was trying to end the topic.
I don't know. With as far as physical side of things, it's all about training, really. Because I mean, fucking look at Ronda Rousey. She could kick any guy's ass, really.
Yeah.
Like the only ones who could stand up to her would be other people of similar training.
Like Floyd Mayweather or whatever, who she's tried to be fighting.
They need to do that. They need to get the. They need to break down that barrier because I think that would be awesome.
I'm totally not sexist, and I honestly think Ronda Rousey could beat most men. But the one man she wants to fight, Mayweather, he is like, he's an asshole. Like, in the sense, he's a sexist asshole. Like, so nothing would come about it if they fought. And if she won, it'd be just like when he fought Pacquiao or whatever there. He would find a reason for, like, he's an asshole. He's not someone that he should fight, but he is the one person she needs to beat to break down that barrier.
Shit.
And I don't think that, I don't know. I don't even want to see it happen because, honestly, I'm not, like I say, I'm not sexist, and I'm sure nobody would think I was, but there's a big difference between the physical strength and, because like training wise, I'm sure she's ahead of all men. Like she seems so committed, and watching her fight is insane. Like, you know, but strength and size and just like sheer power and experience, like say Mayweather, for example, he's like the ultimate physical man, and she's like the ultimate physical woman, and I just don't think that she can bridge that. I'm going to call it a stereotype, but it's not. You know, like that fact that, you know, like he can just literally build his muscle mass so much higher and weigh so much more, and like, you know, like there's no way they could even be in the same weight class, and there's a reason they don't like put you know, make heavyweights fight like lightweights, because they would trash them.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, if they were in the same weight class,
which it can't be, though, is what I'm saying. Like, and then putting her against, like, I don't know, could she even be in the same weight class as like a lightweight, like male fighter? Like, men just have physically more weight in general. You know what I mean?
Well, but like but that's what I mean though. Like, if you had similar, like if they were just on the same weight class.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't argue that, because that's the whole essence of the entire. Who the fuck is this guy or girl? Trying to argue that was an introduction. They just like come in like, hey, yeah. Saying that is just devaluing the whole thing. You're saying like this woman could beat a man if she was a man.
What?
Like,
I don't understand.
But saying like if you could put them in the same weight class, but you can't, because like there's no.
No. I'm saying like Ronda Rousey, if she fought anyone at the same weight class that she is, I think she would like be on an even standing. If she was like, that's why we have those different weight classes, as you were saying, is because like to protect the fighters and everything like that. Like if Floyd Mayweather, what weight class is he? Is
heavy.
Same, not the same.
He's
okay,
heavy.
not the same then as Ronda Rousey.
But what is she? But that's what I'm saying, that the classifications of weight class. I don't know what she is. I'm sorry, but the classifications of what's a light female weight class and a heavyweight female class, and a light male weight class and a heavyweight class are like probably not even the same graph.
Oh, they're different?
They gotta be, like, because like there's no. Do you know like a heavyweight? I don't know I should look it up, but like it's over 200 pounds of like muscle. Can you imagine Ronda Rousey being over 200 pounds of like muscle?
Look it
up.
up.
She's a woman. She's like, they just have lighter bodies, you know, like.
It's like I thought that they would have been the same, and I just thought like, you know, there would be very rare heavyweights.
Well, here, let's see. Rousey.
Man, we talk about some different things here on these. Like,
yeah, we're getting heated there. I like that. 61 kilograms. What the frick is that in, like?
That's America for you.
You know what? They might actually be like. I just can't see. Like, look at her frame. Like, how could they even be like similar in weight? Okay, she's at 135 pounds.
Yeah, so if Floyd Mayweather was,
and he's like.
Yeah, if he's like 200 pounds, I do not think that she would be able to beat him. Like, I'm not trying to like, you know, put people on spite or anything here, but seriously, like that's why we have weight classes. Like if you put somebody who's like 200 pounds against somebody who's 130, like it's almost like what we were talking about in podcast earlier with the bias. Like there's already a built-in like handicap for one person.
Mayweather isn't like a featherweight, actually. I thought he was a heavyweight.
Let me see.
I must be thinking something else.
I need to see a picture of him because I don't even know who he is.
Just a wrestler. A boxer.
So how heavy is he?
And they're in different things, because he's a boxer and she's a...
He looks pretty skinny.
She's a MMA, isn't she?
How heavy is he?
So he still weighs more than her when he was lightweight. And she's at her like maximum weight right now. And he weighed like another, I think it's like 10, 15 pounds over her when he was at his like lowest.
That's not
right here.
that bad.
But I'm saying he would fight normally at a beefier weight. Like the difference between weight classes in male boxing, say, I don't know a lot about the female side of it, is pretty slim. Like I think it's like 10 pounds or something like that. Like is each class or whatever. Like and trying to get into that weight is pretty hard to do. You know, like maintaining a weight inside of a class. But like and I've heard people say that it's extremely different to fight between weight classes. Like it's a different whole feeling. Like your whole body is different. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And that's I guess what I'm trying to get at is that say she's fighting at a heavyweight and he's fighting at a featherweight division for males or whatever. There, he's not in his top form, which he'd want to be like heavyweight. You know what I mean? Like fully built, like as much as he could be. Like not trying to cut muscle to keep his weight down and stuff like that, just to fight her. But that's what you're saying. Is if they could get to that point, still she's got the more muscle mass and everything at that point. But,
well, yeah, like
I'm not arguing against it because I'd like to see them break that sort of gender barrier between it. But in the world of sports and sports fighting, like there's very, very strict rules on how.
Yeah, and
how weight classes are and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and even what you were talking about there, like trying to go down in weight classes when
she has to
you're just kind of meant to be at a higher one. Like it just doesn't. Like I've read stories and stuff about it where it's like you're just so fatigued because you're constantly like in weight training, like whatever they call it,
like to increase like your.
Well, to decrease your weight, so you can keep in a class. So you're basically like eating nothing.
Yeah, that's intense.
To make weight, and you're just like fatigued, so it's like crazy.
He intends to see No Holds Barred. Anyway, I only mentioned Mayweather because I'm pretty sure Rosie was like calling him out. She's like, you know what, because he like beats his wife and all this crap and stuff like that, and she's just like, you know what, I'd like to see you take on a woman that's willing to fight back, you know what I mean? Like you're such a sexist asshole.
I didn't know about
like
all
let's
that
do
stuff.
this. Yeah. Well, and like he's just, I don't know. All of his fights are just like not doctored. He's never lost. Like he's unstoppable. But I don't know. Recently he fought against I think his name's Manny Pacquiao. He's a same weight division, stuff like that. But this is like a really down to earth. I'm sorry we're talking about boxing too, because holy crap, I know so little about it. But there's just been a bunch of stuff about it recently, I guess. In this bout, like, you know, Pacquiao's like a family guy. He doesn't, you know, he has money because he's like amazing what he does. But what he does is live for being like an amazing boxer. You know, like he's really good at it. And, like refining his craft is like what he lives for. You know, and like yes, you could get like $1 million for a fight or something like that. But like you wouldn't be able to tell him the next day that he was like $1 million richer. Like he's just salt of the earth kind of guy. Like there's pictures before the two of them fought, Mayweather and Pacquiao, and it was just like a couple hours before the fight or like the night before or something like that. And he was sitting down having like a family dinner, and you know just like wearing a t-shirt, and his family, and like they're sitting in kind of like, it's not like a super nice house or anything like that. And then Mayweather's like sitting on his like private jet eating caviar, like with like thousands of dollars like stacked on the table next to him, like trying on like the nicest new like 10 different pairs of new shoes sort of thing. Like the difference in their lifestyle, like that guy's an asshole and this guy is like, you want this guy to win because he's like so whatever. And like I say, there was no rules Mayweather just sets all these rules when he goes into battles, like, you know, it's got to be in the gym I choose, you know, I'm going to set the weight class, I'm going to set blah 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 blah, and like Pacquiao has to adhere to all these things, or whoever's fighting me has to adhere to all these things. And then, you know, even if he, so like you said, he's never lost, technically, because he sets every freaking condition for every battle. He even set a condition, I think, for that battle. If he had lost, there would be a rematch. And if Pacquiao won, then there would be no rematch.
Well, yeah, it's...
Over here!
So I'd like to see Mayweather get his, like, shit kicked in by rockin' woman like Ronda, but...
Well, yeah, and well, the other side of it is as well, like, yeah, I didn't get the whole wife beating side of it,
yeah,
and everything, but like if it was what,
I just want to slander Mayweather some more. So keep talking. I'm going to find out the details of that stuff.
If he's just a boxer, then it's definitely no contest. Like, I think Ronda Rousey could have taken him no matter what. Like,
yeah.
Even if it was different weight class, even.
Wow, I like this article already. The many reasons why Ronda Rousey versus Floyd Mayweather is a bad idea. And we talked all about it. Ronda Rousey already has her sights set on her next opponent in the ring. Documented abuser of women and winner of the highest grossing boxing match in history. Do you think you would legitimately beat Floyd Mayweather in a ruleless fight? Do I think I would legit beat Mayweather in a ruleless fight? Floyd is one of the best boxers of all time. He would definitely beat me in a boxing match. I unfortunately don't get into matches. I fight for a living. In a no-rules fight, I believe I can beat anyone on this planet. I actually almost believe her there. Like, I don't even feel like she's talking from her, like, anger.
Well, yeah, well, like, that's what I was saying. Like, if, like, in a boxing to boxing, for sure. Like, he's not a UFC type person. And I watched this video recently where it was Joe Rogan, and he was talking about, like, just fighting in general, and, like, how many people, like, it's mainly internet and side of things. Like, I know it doesn't really happen as much as they made it sound, but, like, just people, talking big and being like, oh, you want to fight, you want to go, and you don't know who the other person is. And it's like, when you're in a situation, you're fighting somebody who knows jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, who can pin you and basically put you in those moments where, like, your arm is going to break.
Yeah. Like a tap-out scenario.
Yeah. You're not prepared for that whatsoever unless you have the training.
Right.
So these people who, like, they're do-nothing people, like, it's just no contest. Like, It's just crazy, the difference. And he was talking about as well, like, just when you think about it, when you get somebody into a submission, you're basically saying, like, okay, you're dead now. Like, I'm the only reason why I'm not applying more pressure is because it'll hurt you.
Yeah.
But you're dead right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They have to submit. Yeah.
But it's just like it's an interesting thought, because, like, if it was back in the day, if it was, like, back hundreds of years ago or whatever,
do you think people talk more shit?
You'd be dead.
Yeah, I think the internet has made experts, I guess, of everyone, in everything, in the sense that people. I'm not saying people are experts. I'm saying, like, makes them feel like experts in so many things. And you have that, like, wall of anonymity that protects you from this sort of thing. Because I feel like, say, let's go back to, like, the Wild Western times or something like that, and you just, like, walk into the saloon, like, in the movies, and, like, kick down the door and look at the strongest guy and be like, yeah, I've beaten people like you before, like, let's go, like, tangle right now, just talking shit. And he just, like, shoots you in the face.
Yeah.
like that doesn't happen anymore, sort of thing. Not that the Old West was, like, completely lawless. Like, that's obviously part of a movie, sort of. That is
a good thing, though. It's like, you don't know if that other person has a gun,
right?
And
or if they fight dirty or fair, or if they would accept your challenge over getting all those people to just pull you back,
or like a metaphorical gun, even.
Yeah.
I don't know if the next person, like, or even a girl, like, I don't know, like, Heather didn't really want to talk about it because it was, like, more of a controversial side of things, but it's like, if a girl starts to attack me, I'm not going to hold back because I don't know who they are.
Right.
They could be a Ronda Rousey type person, and if I hold back just because I think, oh, this is a girl, they're weaker than me or something like that, that's gonna like I could be crippled in the next 5 minutes or something, or less.
Well, they gotta ask like there's a lot to that sort of question. It's like, how did you get in this situation? But
Well, yeah, but like
I guess, but that's the thing. Like, you say you were talking shit to this girl or whatever like that.
then you kind of deserve it.
Yeah.
But like,
But I mean,
I'm just saying, like, in the terms of defending oneself,
yeah,
like people are all like, "Oh, you shouldn't hit girls. You shouldn't hit girls." If you're defending yourself, you're defending yourself. Definitely, you should not be the aggressor in any situation, whether it's a girl or a guy. You should not you shouldn't fight people. Like it's
yeah, uncivilized.
yeah.
It's not a womanly thing to do. What would your mother say?
I don't know. It's not where we are right now. Like aggression is not the way to go.
We're in the world of the omega male.
But when
and the
you're
alpha woman.
but when you are defending yourself, like there's no rules.
No, well, and that's
point.
what they're talking about. You know, that rulelessness to it. Like, man, I don't know. I've never been in that many fights.
I haven't either. Recently,
I was in
when
a
I was
fight
younger,
with a girl, sort of, but all I did was pin them, and like, I'm not going to break their arms or anything like that. Like, just like, yeah, no, you're not fighting anymore, sort of thing. But that was me, I guess, assuming that she was weaker. I guess in that sense, like I knew I could pin her, and then physically I could analyze that, I guess.
Well, I mean, with that, it's like as soon as you have submitted someone, it's like do what you can to like get out of the situation or whatever. And, like that's the only thing that you can do, and that's the only thing that you can do.
Wow, yeah. And I mean, there's a lot more to fighting that even I'm sure I don't understand clearly, but like the emotion and intensity of it, like, I don't know, I'm sure like the adrenaline, you know, people don't even kind of factor that into the whole thing. Like, say I'm not into a fight, or like, you know, I'm just not, like, you're doing one of those moments where you're just like, yeah, no, I just gotta not get to whatever and like accidentally break this girl's arm or something like that. But I don't know, like in that situation I was just talking about, it's like this girl is literally like so angry or you can't even talk to them, you know what I mean? There's so much adrenaline, whatever, like they're so much stronger than you think, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, fighting is I don't know, anyone who talks about it without having experience or almost training at this point, you know, I feel like in much more like, say, feudal times or something, you could maybe be a good fighter without having like training, just through, I don't know, being like a soldier or something like that, or something like that. But
I mean, even
like,
soldiers
soldiers now are just trained to shoot, you know.
Well, I mean, holding a sword and holding that stuff, like, you can hold a sword, you can hold a gun, but, like, shooting it and swinging it is completely different. Just the same as, like, throwing a punch and actually using your body.
Oh, 100%.
In that type of a situation.
What? I thought he was still holding him at that point. Oh man, they're falling together, okay. Why would he let go of them if they were...
Yeah.
Just wanted to scare you. I have not followed this at all. That guy looks so much like the Prince of Persia. Like the main character. He's got the whole, like... I feel like that's his... Actually, what would have come first? Because I want to say this is ripping off Prince of Persia, but I was thinking it's probably more the other way around.
Well, I mean, everything is ripping off, like...
Arabia.
Culture, yeah.
Arabia.
Arabia. Arabian Nights. Did you know that the original Aladdin was Chinese?
Really?
Yeah.
Like the
In
whole...
the Arabian Nights story,
Cool.
Aladdin was Chinese.
I did not know that. I've never read the original story, I guess. Although I probably read adaptations that he's... Yeah, he's still doing Arabian influence.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. I have to look it up again, but
I'll look it up.
I'm almost 100%.
It's interesting. Well, that
Because
kind of...
I read like a long time ago. Got it from the library.
Awesome.
It's Vaughn.
And I guess unless it's explicitly said, like, you just kind of put it how you think. Like, they could probably... As long as there's no pictures, you'd be like, Lawrence of Arabia, eh? Must be Arabian. Indian or something.
So you have an airship? It's both here. Listen, thief.
Yeah.
They have airships?
Aladdin is an impoverished young ne'er-do-well in a Chinese town.
Myself, Fran, and you, we're working together now. Understood?
That's very interesting. Kind of reminds me of, I was talking about Odyssey to the West earlier. I kind of want to look that up.
The thought
Because
never
that was
crossed my
adapted from like a
mind.
Chinese story. I wonder if that's
Journey to
similar,
the
actually.
West?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know that one.
Yeah, Journey to the West.
Yeah, I said Odyssey to the West, but I think that's what the game is called. But it's based on that story that I knew was like from the East, but I didn't know where.
Yeah, it's like this monk finds the Monkey King.
Yeah.
Basically, like Monkey King was birthed from a stone, and like he was like great fighter or whatever, and like he
Cool.
joins up with this pig and like another animal type creature or whatever, and they journey to the west.
Well,
It's just like
Well, this game is
mythical
about
kinda-
this girl, who I assume is the monk, because she's sort of like a technologically savvy person in this like dystopian future where nobody understands technology, and so that's sort of her thing. Like, you know, she's not a fighter; she's a intellectual, and then she meets this guy named Monkey, who is not like a monk. He's like a monkey king, I guess. He even has like the hair kind of, and swings around a lot. And they meet this guy who dresses up like a pig. So yeah, it's totally is that story.
I think it was like a boar. Was the other one? Maybe?
Well, this guy's name is like Pigsy or something like that.
Well, yeah, there's a pig and a boar.
Yeah.
For the
I'm sure there's a lot more like. I'm sure it has its own sort of like narrative to it. But do you remember what happens at the end of the story? Because I kind of wondered like what.
of the
about-
Journey to the West.
Yeah.
I think it's like a series of
Oh, is it?
like mythological type thing.
Okay. I was just wondering how much they borrowed or how much it was influenced. I was like, obviously it's not like the universe is, like I say, dystopian sort of like future society where some people are good with machines and most people aren't.
Like I just remember I like they have like cartoons that were based off of it,
Oh.
and I mean the most obvious one that was based off of it loosely, Dragon Ball.
Yes. Interesting. The original Dragon Ball. Before it became Ziified.
Yeah.
You seen any of the new Dragon Ball series?
No,
I watched it yet either.
I tried to. Well, like I watched half of the first episode, and it was just so boring. Oh my god.
Yeah? I was wondering if they were going to get into the more fast-paced stuff that they were trying to set up in the movies and stuff like that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Back to the old days. Maybe if I was younger, it would be all right. But it's like, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
if you don't start out, if you
Well, we're
don't,
used to Kai.
yeah. Well, if you don't start it off with a battle, then it's kind of like, oh my god,
Yeah,
what's,
what
the,
is this?
what's the fucking point, really?
Maybe that talks back to like, I mean, Toriyama's like involved in this one directly, right? Like he's writing stories and stuff, as opposed to like
Do
the.
you mind pointing the fan back over here?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
getting a little hot.
Oh, there's a handle on the back of it. Oh. How come you have like?
I don't know if you quite got it though.
Oh, you want more? I just didn't have enough. Is that okay?
Yep. Should be.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
So how come these guys have higher levels than you? Are they your first teammates?
Sort of. Pinello, I guess.
You don't get that chick with the bike?
Oh yeah, I know she's there too. But like Pinello was the first one, and then we got her now. That's that person.
Pinello.
Why is it like silhouetted out? I don't understand.
Man, really makes me want to play Resonance of Fate. I'd say we could play some Resonance of Fate one of these times. Maybe not during the podcast because it's a little strategy heavy when it comes to selecting your moves. I gotta think a couple moves ahead.
Yeah, there's too much thinking going on.
Well, we could probably do it like in a scenario like this. I don't feel like too mentally unequipped. I figure if I can get a good jag of Metroid Prime done, I can probably strategize slightly. Well, I guess with a lot of that Metroid, it would be reactionary.
Insurgents. Most like they thought to take advantage
I like
of the
Metroids.
Lord's watch at the palace while
Fun.
the fate's on. To feed the good consul
Next
a length
week.
of steel for his supper.
Next week.
I should think Vane used to
That's really
such
fun.
hospitality. Clever. He used himself as the bait to draw them near, and then sent
Bait.
them
Let's
the
try.
a fine bloody banquet.
Yeah.
I dare say I've
See if it
soiled my
works.
cuffs. If a dungeon
Live.
Yeah, maybe you can't play one really close to the beginning.
it had best have a change
One
of
plays the
wardrobe.
beginning. Well, we would have seen the first one.
Go live.
Hey, what was that doing?
Fuck, just go live. Oh my god.
Do do do. Do 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 do. It says it's playing, but Thor. He's using Mjolnir to try to get it down here.
What?
He's using Mjolnir to try to get down here.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't really. Based on single viewers of CNN, keep on stream. Yeah, I don't know.
Somehow.
So maybe just because of mine. I don't know.
Maybe it needs to detect a certain amount.
Ad block is off. Maybe it's because of the IP. Maybe that's why.
Oh. Yeah. Well, here, I'll look at my phone. That would be the same IP still. Yeah, phones have weird, like, IP nonsense.
Back to the game.
Seconds.
It's the game.
What was that? So, I have the YouTube app on my phone. Can you just play stuff like this?
Oh, don't worry about it. We'd have to put on another ad after.
Gonna do it.
Too many ads.
Who's gonna be bothered by it?
Nobody's watching.
Watch somebody who like fellows opposite
Yeah.
his head.
Are you you gonna stay high and you gonna stay and say hi to Heather? Or did you want
She
to
getting off soon?
just getting off at 9:30?
9:30. Night. Yeah, probably.
Then we will
Do you want
keep
to get time
playing.
before? 10 o'clock's good enough time. Russ, can't find her channel.
Ah, don't worry about it.
I do worry. It's gonna keep me up all night. Heather's not watching at work.
Oh well, they're monitoring right now.
Oh yeah. I was kidding. I didn't expect her to. She's not the type to watch at work. I don't think anyway.
Is Adam like stopping or
That's a good question.
because
I don't know. I haven't been streaming other than here. He hasn't mentioned it. I think he stopped watching in streams in general. He mentioned something about that.
what?
I think he just stopped watching all streams
Why?
at work because they
Oh,
monitor it.
Well, no, I meant like I thought you meant that he was just. In
Oh yeah, no. Like he generally watches streams at work, but I think he just stopped. That's a weird thing in itself. I understand the logic, I guess, but
Why isn't it attacking? I don't understand.
like block. Maybe I shouldn't even get into it.
What?
I was just gonna say block access to sites. Don't like screen cap your employees while they're working. You know what I mean? It gives you a poor sample. Unless, like, I guess you do it like 10 times throughout the day and every time.
I don't know.
You work for a tech company, people are going to figure it out. Like,
I think it's, I don't know, I think it's just silly anyways.
it is silly.
When you're at a place of work, you have to have an outlet. Like, you have to have some kind of an outlet because you're going to get stressed. And, I don't know, it's just they're trying their best to get rid of time theft, but
Your time is so strict there. Like,
yeah, like in the act of trying to get rid of time theft, they're just making people more stressed.
yeah.
And making them not want to be there more.
It's a sin. But anyway, I guess what can you do? Quit. Damn.
Bam, 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 bam.
Like the little, is that a gear that pops up when you find something you pick up and stuff?
We'll have to see, I guess. Bam, 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 bam. Ah, fuck. This is the only thing I don't like about this speeding up aspect.
It exemplifies how much running around there is in this game.
What?
It shows you how much actual running around there is in this game.
Oh,
If you've been in the sewer forever. Not that it's your fault. Did your guy die?
yeah.
Like, die?
He's
Cool to me.
knocked out.
These solo players for being careful, you're just like... I don't know, when you said like he's not necessarily like anything really important happens to him, he's sort of like along, I'm just like, oh well, that'd be cool if you could just die and like you just pick up with the rest of your party.
It's like a turn-based strategy game where you have permadeath.
It's like XCOM. It's exactly the definition of XCOM. Did you ever play that game?
No, I've heard lots of good things though.
It's real good. I'm playing there's a mod for it right now called the Long War. Which basically makes it like a whole lot more content. I don't know why I need to explain that because that's what mod does. New classes and stuff.
Did Adam end up playing any more of the friggin' what's it called? Fast and Light with the mods?
Ooh, yeah, I watched him play a bit of it. It was really cool, but I don't know if he... Faster Than Light for him is kind of a game he just fires up like every once a month sort of thing. Runs through a couple times, so I've seen him play quite a few runs through, and like I say, I know he's going to go back to it. Usually picks it up once in a while. Like, if he's got an hour to kill, or, he would use it as like a quick game to be able to pick up and sort of have fun with for an hour and not have to worry about it.
What should I make?
But he does a lot of saving his
Archer.
he saves his like you can quit and resume from where you left off, and I find that just takes me out of it. I don't know why.
He does that on Fast and Light?
Yeah, like you know you can just like resume from. I mean it's a pretty obvious feature. Like you just if you can only play 15 minutes, come back to it. He can do that. I like to play the whole run through and then I don't know, picking it back up doesn't appeal to me as much. I don't know what that says about me. Hopefully nothing.
Everything.
Is this your skill tree like thing?
Yeah. Like in the old one, it was basically like a license board, they called it, and so like everyone had the same one, and so you could fill it in, and then like anyone could equip any weapon, any armor, blah blah blah.
So your whole team sort of like leveled up in the same way?
Kind of, yeah. Well, this is more weapons and armor and accessories and stuff like that. I guess there are HP ones. I didn't remember that. But armor and stuff like that. Okay. The way that they introduce it in the game side of things is these are licenses that you get to be able to use the equipment, as it were.
No, I was going to say like they can explain it that way, but it doesn't really mean they're making it make sense.
Why is it doing
Because these guys, when are they buying the licenses? And also, it doesn't seem to be based on money.
It's
you seem, sir, like you're quite good at using handguns. Would you like a license for a second level handgun? Why, yes.
Yeah, like game wise, it doesn't really work. It's just silly. But
I'm not gonna complain. RPG things. One of my favorite things in Resonance of Fate, for example, is you don't actually level up specific characters. Like, they level themselves up depending on the types of weapons they use in combat. So, like, they level up independently, and then you can alter... Like, it's very rare to find a new type of gun. So, like, there's pistols, SMGs, throwable weapons, and, like, usable items and stuff like that. So you can equip 2 of those types of things to each hero, and then, like, depending on what they've been using. So if, like, he uses SMGs and pistols, he's going to level up on those 2 things, but not the others. Anyway, it doesn't matter so much that, but you can take each of the weapons and, like, put mods and stuff on it. But, like, there's a huge grid like this, like, so the gun's in the middle, or you can put it wherever you want. And then, like, all the little pieces are, like, attachments that you can, like, anchor to different points on the gun. So, like, weapon extensions, like, usually will have, like, anchors that match stuff on the bottom of the gun, like, near the hilt and, or whatever, not hilts, but anyway, grip. And then, like, you know, barrel extensions will, like, fit on the end of a gun and stuff like that. So you can kind of, like...
What game was this?
This is Resonance of Fate, that JRPG I was talking about with guns. It's all about guns instead of swords and stuff like that. I gotta show you gameplay, it's amazing. And, anyway, but the most hilarious thing is, and it makes no sense, but, like, they kind of explain it by, like, oh, you're putting, like, sights and putting on extensions on your guns and stuff like that. But, like, you can get, like, say, you know, like, a scope will add, like, so much of, hit chance percent or whatever, something like that. But, like, you can put mods that are basically just extensions, so you can, like, extend it out so you can put, like, 2 scopes on your gun, like, or even more than that, or, like, you know, but, like, it's just a grid, so you're just, like, attaching it in, like, a puzzle, you know what I mean? But it's just hilarious to think of these guns, like, just, like, 6 scopes on the top, and, like, all these barrels, like, going up and down, like, off the front of it, and then, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hilarious like that. And there's all these little things you can do to, like it kind of makes sense, because, like I say, the front of the barrel has, like, a circular attachment or whatever, so you can only attach pieces that hook into circles, and the top only attaches, like, things that hook into squares, but, like, some attachments sort of, like, change what the thing is, so you could put, like, a scope right on the front of your gun, but it's just all, like, trying to fit the pieces in the puzzle, just so you can't make a gun that has, like, infinite pieces on it or anything like that. Like, you can't just attach everything to one gun. It makes you have to intelligently, like, fit them in the grid so that they, you know, you can pump up a gun as much as you can intelligently fit all the modifications into this grid, fitting into the puzzle pieces that they go into. Anyway, that was a pretty long explanation, but it's an awesome system. Like, it's so unrealistic, but it works, and it feels like it fits to the lore and everything like that. But it gives you a really hilarious idea of them, like, wading into combat with this huge, like, giant cannon on their wrist. Yeah, with, like, all these scopes off it. I really gotta show you this game now, because I think I'm crazy.
Well, no, I believe you.
Why do you believe me? But it sounds crazy.
Silly.
I don't know.
So silly.
You didn't need a JRPG, or even an RPG where... I'll say JRPG, make it, like, harder. Where every character just shoots guns. No punching, no anything else.
Shoots guns?
Yeah.
They said shits guns.
Well, they do that too. There's guns everywhere. Except you rarely ever get any.
Well,
They're just bounty hunters.
in Xenoblade Chronicles,
They shoot guns?
one character has a gun.
Not everybody. That's my point. See, a gun's a special weapon in that. In this, everyone has guns. Even your enemies. Well, some do attack you melee, but... It's cool, you can, like I say, it's all about free running. So, like, you're, like, there's walls that are, like, impenetrable unless they take too much gunfire and stuff, so you can, like, run, like, on your turn, like, behind a wall, so, like, when the enemy's fully charged to take their shot, like, they'll hit the wall instead, or things like that. Strategy. I gotta show you this game now. I just want to replay it. But I'm probably gonna just do that on my own time.
Can't wait until I get better gambits. Because then you can do some crazy stuff. You can have them...
That you can't do without gambits?
Yeah, well, like, just making it easier. Like, there's
I don't know,
one...
your hands don't even on the control right now. It looks like you're doing everything for you.
Well, there's, like, different things that happen. Like, the character at the bottom, I set them to steal.
Okay.
But that's all that they do. So there's different ones that you can get, like targeting enemies. So it's like target enemy that has item, and then your action is steal. So right now I have it on any
Just
because
like-
I don't have the gambit appropriate
Can
So-
she attack or just steal them from what she's got? Is it?
right now.
Right.
Like, if I change around the gambits, I could make it so that she just does attack or whatever. But
Okay, cool. Still has that. Once.
bam, 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 bam. And there's like certain areas where you can basically manipulate the enemies. Like this enemy summons another enemy, so then you can make your characters only target those enemies because they're weaker, and it's basically like auto leveling
Right.
because the other guy constantly keeps spawning these enemies.
Okay.
And your characters will never attack the
Main
other
guy.
enemy because of the health that he
Right.
has.
So you can just like walk away and like level up your dudes.
Yeah, just leave it on overnight, basically.
Assume they don't die at some point.
Yeah. I think we're about to meet the person that I told you about there, the main... Yeah, there's the princess.
You get her on your team?
Yeah.
She looks familiar. I feel like I've seen this character before. What's her name?
Ash.
Okay, no. Slow down. She gets stabbed because she's not paying attention. You fool.
It's just silly, like, looking at these characters and, like, what they're wearing and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah, why did he trust her at all? Or she trust him?
Grow by the hour.
You get it? Because he looks like a woman? She kind of looks like a guy.
that was the worst joke.
That wasn't a joke. It's the sad thing. I mean, it wasn't meant to be until I tried to save my own self. Well, this is the most guys you fought at once, I feel. I haven't been paying any attention. Can you explain just really, like, when you press A to attack, is that when that, like, thing goes to the guy? Like, the string? That yellow thing?
Well, yeah, when they target, they show that string there, basically.
But as soon as it, like, disappears, is that when they attack?
Well, like, it's like the ATB bar at the bottom there.
Yeah.
So when it begins at the beginning there,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it appears.
Okay. Ooh, stole a potion.
Doo-ba-doo. Pumpernickel.
You alright?
Because yeah, it's like,
Thank you.
who wears these things? Like, even the main character, like, he's wearing this stupid little vest. Like, what the fuck? And he's fighting in these battles with people with swords. It's like,
Amalia.
I don't know.
Amalia, huh?
Dumb.
Nice to meet you.
There's a funny
Who's
thing
with me? I'm sorry.
recently about the new Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard anything about the new
The
Star
new
Wars?
Star Wars? I try to avoid so much stuff, like trailers and, like, anything.
I'm afraid the jury's still out.
So no. But tell me, I don't mind. I just avoid trailers.
Yeah.
Well, there's a character
Have you finished?
played by somebody from Game of Thrones,
Oh, okay.
If they aren't already.
and it's this really tall like woman,
Better than being by yourself.
and in the Game of Thrones she plays like this badass female knight,
Okay.
What's wrong with her?
and so in Star Wars
You
she's
have a lot to
playing
learn
as
before
like a
we get
stormtrooper,
started on your thievery.
and
What's
she
that?
has like the name is Captain Phasma or Phasma or something,
Okay.
and like has like chrome
Cool.
armor.
Chrome Trooper?
Yeah, pretty much. But it's like normal stormtrooper armor. And so somebody was like tweeted or something like that to Star Wars and was like, that doesn't look like female armor. And it's like I can't remember exactly what they said back, but it's like this is armor. Like,
Yeah, really. She's a captain.
but it's like people who don't know about armor saying that it doesn't look like female armor. because there is no female armor.
Yeah, what do they mean?
The whole like female armor thing, where it's like the showing of the breast or whatever. Like, have you ever? Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You've seen like it. It draws the blade in there, like it would not function as armor should function.
Well, I mean, it doesn't stop anything. Even like.
But I mean, if we're talking about realistic,
You could have like multiple layers if you want real armor, like not something that would even stop an arrow from piercing your tit, sort of thing.
But I mean, like if we were talking about real armor, like from back in the day, like if anything, it would be curved like that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because it would
deflect
it.
Yeah, it's crazy. There wouldn't be any difference between male and female in any way, except maybe like
the size.
The size, yeah. Like, you wouldn't even mold, like... I mean, they've done it in... they do it like Mass Effect and stuff like that. Whereas I feel like everyone should just be able to wear the same armor in that. But in Mass Effect, everyone's got, like, super skin-tight armor and stuff like that. But they even have, like, the concave, like, plating for the breasts. Like...
Well, what are we waiting for?
It's so stupid. Like, what the hell? Like, all armor should have, like, that sort of, like, deflection thing to it. Like, not have... more space there or anything like that. But I guess they gotta like make up for the fact that generally, I guess there weren't a lot of like large breasted, large hipped, like female fighters, I guess, or male fighters for that matter. Like comically large, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like those people just don't exist. Neither do like huge barbarian men either, like
Well, you know what game that I want to play again? Speaking of huge barbarian men,
Conan?
Odin Sphere. Have you heard of that?
Never heard of it.
It's up there. You should go check it out.
I'm gonna look at it right now. Odin Sphere. It is subsistence. There is Metal Gear Solid 2 substance there.
Nope.
I'm sure of it.
Nope.
Sorry, I was not going to create.
I made that mistake too. It is subsistence.
But what's the one for Xbox that is Metal Gear? It's the one with the riding. This is Metal Gear Solid 3 subsistence, which is the one where he's...
There's no substance.
Maybe it's not substance, but there's a different word that starts with S. There's the one that was for... It had all the VR missions in it, and you were riding. And it was the remake of the actual one with riding.
Yeah, I know the one that you're talking
Sorry,
about.
what game were you from?
Odin Sphere, it's for the PS2. I think it probably is near the top there, or maybe it's in that pile with Metal Gear. On the left.
Yes.
It's like based on Norse mythology and stuff.
Cool.
But it's like all hand painted and whatever, graphics.
Awesome. I was gonna say, it reminds me of, you ever played Dragon's Crown?
Same people.
Yeah. Did you play it?
Yeah. Oh, no. But same company.
Yeah, I saw the Atlas on the front.
But yeah, like they're making a remake of that too in HD or whatever.
Oh, cool.
I'd probably pick it up.
Yeah, I love Dragon's Crown, if it's anything like that.
Dragon's
Is it more of an
Crown.
RPG thing?
What?
Dragon's Crown was like a side-scrollery. There's RPG elements to it, like you level up and stuff like that, but it's like a multiplayer, not multiplayer, but like it's a couch game. Like,
Well, with this one, it's more like single player, I think, and
more RPG.
follows like a story, yeah, RPG.
Cool. I like this version of Odin, like techno Odin.
Yeah.
Man, maybe I just want to play Dragon's Crown.
What did that come out for, Dragon Crown?
I played it on Xbox 360.
Okay.
I don't know if it was like older. I played it about a year and a half ago or something like that with Miles and Kip.
Because I thought that it didn't come out for the consoles that I had. Maybe I'll have to check.
Maybe it was actually on PlayStation, man.
Because I'm gonna have to check that again because I wanted to play that when it came out.
Super cool. I don't even know if I would play it it's made to be a couch game and play it with like at least 2 to 3 people.
Really?
Yeah, like it's totally something we could stream to. Like it's awesome. Like but it's once you go through the like, there's a series of levels kind of that you go through like that are different, and then you like end up going back to the same levels over and over. So it's sort of like a
Dungeon crawl?
no, like it's a side scrollery. It's like a beat 'em up more than anything. But the characters are all really unique, and it's not like that traditional like, you know, you just walk up to a guy and like punch him and like grab him and stuff like that. Like the character I played was like an elf archer, and so like all my attacks are like long range, and I can shoot arrows up into the air and like bring them down like in the distance sort of thing. And like you level up your character to be like focus on different like areas of like archery and stuff like that.
I can't. So silly. He throws his sword into the ground.
So you can stand on it?
You're
Yeah,
just
dulling it.
You're just ruining your sword. It's like this
Super dulling.
priceless artifact, like way later in the game. Priceless artifact just slams it right into the ground.
The mana sword. What were we talking about just before? Excuse me. Before all that stuff.
The characters in Dragon Crown.
No, before this. I mean, we don't have to talk about Dragon's Crown anymore.
Oh. I don't remember.
We're talking about
Talking
the
about
place he works
life.
for. Is that
Talking
person
about
supposed to be
life.
all black, or is that just like a glitch?
They're blind.
Ooh. I'm sorry, I was trying to be racist. Or you didn't mean they were race blind, you mean they were like... Oh, their characters are like have a spell on them that makes them...
Yes.
I see that with a flashing blind now. Okay. Because whenever I saw them, they just looked like solid black.
Okay, maybe my chat thing is not working.
Are you chatting?
No, somebody else is. Let me reset it here. Restart. There, okay, yeah. It was not being dumb. Okay. Somebody's talking to us there. Liz
That wasn't working?
Marinho. Yeah, it didn't show up on there.
Maybe it's just because we're only doing it to Twitter or to YouTube.
Liz Marinho says, I love this game.
Well, I'm enjoying watching it. So,
I like the gameplay of it.
actually, I don't know. It's really inspiring me to play all these like old RPGs I'm thinking of, I guess. That's why I keep mentioning Resonance of Fate.
Well, hey, I mean, if you wanted to bring her over or whatever, we can play it.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I gotta find my pile of games I just moved. Although I really would just want to... You know what? Honestly, I don't think I've ever beaten it, too. Like, it's a really long game. It's got a lot of chapters to it.
Really?
Yeah, it's just so long. I've played it I've started it a few times, and I get, like, pretty far through. But there's one... Like I said, there's 3 people that you're always playing as, and they're the same people, and, you know, you sort of invest in them. But the game's built around having, like crossing the paths of your... Like, say you have 2 guys, you have all 3 of your guys on the screen. You basically got to constantly be moving between your other... Like, you take one character and move them basically between the other 2, like, on their run for their turn. And you're constantly, like, crisscrossing each other, creating, like, triangles. And, like, the whole point of it is to... I look at it as, like, in combat, as you, like, you know, you're sort of, like, dancing between each other, like, to distract your opponent and, like, make them not focus on one person, stuff like that. But it sort of works out, like, the more you build up this... Like, there's a visible line in the ground between your guys, and if you run through it, like, you're crossing the goal, that adds, like, a point to your... Like your like super attack meter sort of thing. So like once you've done enough times, you can use it to basically start like a huge chain where they just like run around the screen shooting at everything and stuff like that. Really cool, like awesome cinematic moments like that. Like really cool. But there's 2 segments in the game that I know of. Maybe there's more. Maybe I just don't get far enough to have more. But they take away your 3rd player, so there's only 2 people. But so much of it is based on that super attack system that you get from crossing over your dude.
Yeah.
When you only have 2 dudes, you can't cross, so you can't even build the meter. And like when I say a lot of it's based on that thing, maintaining your meter is basically like your guys don't actually have life. Like they can stay alive as many hits as they take, but they share like a pool of sort of like like I don't know, we'll call it health, but it's like bezels or something like that, like pips of whatever. And like when you don't build that meter, it's just like slowly going toward your death. Like you're not keeping the momentum of the battle up. But like the battles are just as hard, and you fight like mini bosses and stuff. And I'm just like, it's so much different with two people because you can't build any of these combos or like heal yourself or like do anything. And like I say, there's like 4 or 5 different types of things like pistols, SMGs, thrown weapons like grenades and Molotovs and like usable items. And I think healing is its own thing. It's outside of usable items. No, it might be the same. Oh, ammunition type. So you can equip a guy with a pistol, and then his secondary can be, he can swap ammo types. So he doesn't have to just use basic ammo. He can use like fire rounds and stuff like that. But only if he has that magazine in his inventory. Like say, so each person only uses 2 stuff. So having 2 people, so you can only use 4 different types of items when there's like 5 different types. Like you're pretty much going to go in combat not being able to use one of the things. Like I usually pick the magazine switching because it's not that imperative. But then you're weak against enemies that are only weak to like different ammo types and stuff. Or you take out the items and you can't heal. All you can do is shoot in battle. So I don't know. It's a weird like that. Those parts in the game, it takes me so out of it. I'm like, wow, like I really love everything up to this point, but it's so hard and so different and frustrating to like get used to a dynamic that they clearly never intended. I don't know.
Well, with that rant,
Yep.
we will end.
It's like all my man. I ranted a lot today, didn't I? When you don't give me a topic, I just go.
Well, it's good.
Yeah.
I like to rant. I like to talk about things.
Well, this is a certified terrible rant. We'll go on there. Yeah, we can call our things just rants instead of podcasts.
Yeah, we'll do that next time. So, thank you for joining us. And this concludes the Certified Terrible live stream.
I love you all.
Sexually.